we focus on helping you claim what's rightfully yours, your health and your freedom. We explore the three main areas of health: the physical realm, the biochemical realm, and the mental and emotional realm. We also explore all the areas of lifestyle we can find that will help you live more abundantly, regardless of where you're starting. And remember, in life, you'll either make excuses or create results. You choose. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Hant, and I'm glad to be with you here today. Make sure to head on down to the show notes and click on the link to join our tribe of human-powered life heroes, where we'll update you on new shows, events, product launches, and so much more. Now, it's time to enjoy the show. Hey everyone, Dr. Josh Hant here for the Human Power Life podcast. I want to let you know we're going to be winding down this first season. I'm grateful to all of you that have been listening, downloading, leaving us messages. I'd love for more of you to leave some reviews, which would be fantastic. And you can do that on Apple Podcasts, would probably be the best place. Or wherever you're listening to, give us a little 5-star, give us a little review. I love seeing those. We are now in many, many different countries that are listening to us. So I'm very grateful to all of you that are doing that. So as we wind down this season, we're going to be jumping into new topics. We're going to do a series of 11 or 12 people that are in a specific subject. I'm not going to tell you what that is yet, but I will also let you know we're going to be jumping into a lot of different conversations. I'm going to be doing some solo podcasts, more than even interviews in the future, because I want to really share what I'm learning. I want all of you to be engaged. I want you to be able to learn things, apply them, and make yourself better. And I hope that's something that all of you want to do anyway, is be better for yourselves, for your family, for humanity. So to give you an idea, some of the books that I'm going to go through, and I may share some stuff with all of you. One is called Life Without Fear by Dr. Fred Barge. My chiropractors will have known this one or heard of this one. Here's going to be an exciting one. This is a textbook on neuroanatomy and neurophysiology. Here's another textbook on endocrine physiology. You can tell where I'm going with this, right? Studying a lot of the human body again, even though I have been out of school for 17 plus years. Kind of crazy, but still in it, baby. Still learning for myself, because I want to be better for my patients, my practice, and everybody that's paying attention and listening to and watching this podcast. Here's another massive book. It's a textbook, and you see my whole desk and everything shake when I drop that down. It's called Boundless. It's by Ben Greenfield, who we've actually had on our show on Lifestyle Locker Radio, the first version of our podcast. Super brilliant guy. Came out with this amazing book. It is a lot. It's a beast to get through. And for many of the people that may have purchased the book or got the audio book, it's a lot. And I'm going to start to break down certain chapters, certain things that I think are amazing for all of you. He's got a lot of information. He's a brilliant human being. So that's just some idea of where we're going, what we're going to be doing, and how we're going to go about doing it. So today I'd like to talk to you about something that's been on my mind for a while now. And I just did a webinar with our patients, and our practice members at the New York Chiropractic Life Center, virtual one, this webinar. And we did it on the 7 habits that you need to start today. So for those of you that it's something that sounds familiar, you can get the free download. You don't have to go to the webinar, because I can't share that with you. But you can go to lifestylelocker.com, scroll to the bottom on the bottom left-hand side if you're on the desktop, or just scroll to the bottom on your phone, name and email in, you'll see the 7 habits download. Get it. It's awesome. It's a very simple thing to apply. So the thing that's really been on my mind with habits and life is collecting as many wins as possible. In Lifestyle Locker, this is many years ago, we had a guest that talked about AMWAPs. AMWAPs. And he broke this down and took this terminology from CrossFit terminology, which is AMRAP, AMRAP, which stands for as many repetitions as possible. And he just got rid of the reps and put a W there. The W stands for wins, as many wins as possible. So just to give you a little sneak peek into the habits that I think are really powerful that we all need to start. The first one, which is so simple, but nobody's going to give you any credit for it, but you, maybe a spouse will, but is make your bed. The simple act of doing something that's thankless, but create some organization, create some order in your morning that's very simple, which takes a matter of minutes, is making your bed. And you know what? I'm not the big throw pillow guy. Frankly, I hate him. And now that we have a dog, the dog doesn't like him either. So it's a win for both my dog and I. My wife, maybe not so much. But I have to make a bed. Very simple, move the sheets. And if she's sleeping when I'm awake, I still will fix my side of the bed so it looks neat and organized and orderly, not just throwing the sheets and jump out of bed and expect her or the dog to make the bed. So do that. Make your bed. So that's the first win. And some simple wins that you can start to do, and I urge all of you to do this, is you can keep a journal. Right? I have notebooks all over the place. I take notes everywhere, but I have these like really simple notebooks, right? Like a simple Mead notebook. You can start to make little lists, checklists, and they're not, you need to complete every single thing. But what I urge you to do is before bed, the night before today, right? So before bed, before the following day, what you can do is make a little simple list. Some people put it in their text, some people put it in their phone. I'm a pen and paper kind of guy. Do I love my phone? 100%. I need to keep track of certain things on my phone, especially if I have my checklist out and about. But what you can do, you put your list on a piece of paper. And then you can transfer it to the phone in the morning if you want to. So you can, if you're out and about, you can start checking things off. But what that does, that simple win of making a list of the things that you want to accomplish, I would say at least 7 of them. And it could be as simple as, hey, take a shower today, get to the gym, go for a walk, walk the dog, clean the yard of dog shit, whatever it may be. It could be many different things. But this gives you the opportunity to put check boxes in. And what that does when you're accomplishing all of these little to-dos for yourself, make sure you have the high priority with the most value at the top of the list to get done, and make the hardest things closer to the top of the list as well. So what you're doing is you're psychologically training your mind to be in a winning mentality. In a positive psychology world, we're doing things that are uplifting us. And by putting these little check boxes in, I sometimes have to do it with, my iPhone. My wife and I will share like something as simple as a shopping list on like Google Keep or the Apple Notes or whatever it is. And we're just checking things off. It's like, all right, cool. We're almost done. So that's a shopping list. If we can do this for something as simple as buying food for ourselves, imagine you can do this just something simple for doing things that are good for yourselves. Yes, you need to eat, but the simple checklist that can go in here, it'll end up in here. That was the book in the iPhone there. If you're not watching, will make life easier, more fun. And then what you start to do throughout the day is your body's looking for these positive things. It's in a positive, you have this positive movement going on. And here's the opposite side of the picture here. How many of you have woken up in the morning, kind of shuffled out of bed, kind of groggy, maybe didn't get the best night's sleep, you stub your toe. And you're like, son of a, right? But the night before, you're worried about something that you had to do today. So we go to bed with this worry. We wake up in the morning, we stub our toe, and then this becomes this downward spiral, right? Because we're psychologically training ourselves. It's easy to get out of that, but oftentimes we just kind of love to marinate in the bleh, So we start our day and we just start to track through our whole day this way. Like the negative mindset fills in the gaps for wherever there's a gap. So setting yourself up to win is very, very powerful. And I urge all of you to do it. And some of the simple habits, I mentioned making your bed. You've just get the download. But some of the simple habits that I love are make your bed, meditate, exercise, drink good water, send love notes to your loved ones every single day, whether it's a piece of paper, a text, whatever it may be. Get good sleep. There are a lot of little cool things that you can do to win your day every single day. And that AMWAP, as many wins as possible, is so great because you're not chasing that big, lofty, big, hairy, audacious goal. Like, hey, you know what? Today, I'm going to do everything. And then when you fail to complete everything, you're down in the dumps. So have that big goal available. Hey, we're giving you a short break here where you can head down to the show notes or lifestylelocker.com and join our tribe of human-powered life heroes. You'll be the first to know about new shows, events, product launches, affiliate specials, and more. And now, back to the show. But bring it back. Make things simple and chunkable. These little simple to-dos, these little actionable items are so powerful, and they will help you win your day. And then when you start to win days, weeks show up, months show up, and then eventually years show up, and then a lifetime. Does that mean everything's going to be perfect in life and happy and healthy all of the freaking time? No. We're all human. We have this thing called the human condition, which I joke about in my practice. But what I would recommend that you don't do, here's the don't. Don't beat yourself up for not accomplishing what you want. What I urge you to do, for instance, you're trying to reach a goal, and it may be a business goal, a personal goal. Let's just use something simple, because not everybody owns their own business, but we all have, our money we need to deal with. But let's keep it as something simple as fitness. Let's say your goal, your big goal months down the road, is a marathon, and you're hitting all the check boxes. You're eating better. You're exercising when where your program is designed. You're doing all of the steps that you think you need to do to get to that marathon. The day of the marathon, you're running, and one of two things happens, right? You're either, I want you to finish the marathon, but we're going to talk about the bad scenario here, is you make it a certain amount of miles and you get injured and you have to stop. Oftentimes, myself personally as an athlete, it's incredibly frustrating because you put all of this time and energy and effort in to accomplish this goal, and it doesn't happen because of something as silly as an injury. And yes, it has happened to me multiple times on races, and it is incredibly frustrating. And I can tell you, when I step back and look at it, like, I'm grateful that I got to have that experience, and I'm grateful that I get to learn from that experience so I can go for it again, right? So we get an injury, or we get to the day or week of that marathon, and a life event shows up, a death in the family, someone gets engaged, and someone's getting married that day, and you can't be around for your event that you trained so hard for. It's very easy to get yourself down in the dumps. And what I urge all of you to do is to not miss the journey, all those little mini wins along the way. I know you're going for that big win, but look at the journey. Follow your journey. It is amazing. Document your journey. Because as you go through this, you're going to go, holy cow, I accomplished so much. Did I get my marathon? Crap, no, I did not. But that's okay. There will be another marathon. Frankly, if you're doing it just to get a medal, it's probably not worth just doing. To do it, to accomplish it, is a different thing. And anybody can do that, right? You can just go out your door in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever day of the week you want and start running, and don't stop till you hit 26.2 miles. That's a marathon. The difference in doing an event is you made a commitment to yourself. You have a date, a time, right? You have all of these things set up. So you have a completion date for that goal. So that's what just makes it a little more fun, even though you can do it anytime you want. So remember, as many wins as possible. Make yourself some simple checklists. Make sure you have a nice, big, hairy, audacious goal in different areas of your life. And you got to have fun along the way. And do not beat yourself up. And I'm just going to give you one more example, and I've mentioned this on shows in the past, maybe not in the Human Powered Life podcast here. One of the things that I had such a huge problem with, and my wife made up this word, called it food remorse. And I'm mostly a healthy eater most of the time. Do I have alcohol from time to time? Me, yes. Do I have a chocolate chip cookie from time to time? Yes. Do I have things that maybe aren't the healthiest from time to time? Yes. But most of the time I do really, really well. So what would happen is, in practice, holiday time shows up or whatever it would be, a patient brings in a box of cookies from my favorite bakery in the city called Levain, I don't even know how to say it, bakery. But to me, they make the best chocolate chip cookies. They're chocolate chip walnut cookies. They are about 600 to 700 calories per cookie. They probably have a stick of butter in each one. Tons of sugar, tons of salt, tons of fat, like all of the food science that makes you addicted to these things. Thank God I don't eat them on a regular basis. But what would happen would be, we get a box of these cookies. The smell, gets to me right away, and I smell like, oh, this is so good. This is so good. And ultimately, where I would end up would be I'd eat a piece of a cookie, eat a half a cookie, let's just say. Get home, and I'd be like, oh, Meredith, I can't believe I just had a freaking half of that cookie. I feel like crap. And I would just mentally beat myself up every day, like, or that whole night. And then I'd be like a couple of days like, oh, my training sucks the next day. So now, if that happens, or when that happens is probably a better way to say this, I look at it and go, great, this is a decision I made. Nobody forced me to do it. I have to be okay with it. And you know what? For me, it's like, you know what? Do you do this? If you need to work on doing a detox every few months, do a detox every few months. If you need to run an extra 5 miles a week, run an extra 5 miles a week, but do things that are better for you most of the time. So I would beat myself up, and she's like, then just don't freaking eat the cookies if you're going to complain about it the whole time. Because it would frustrate her, right? Like my problem would frustrate another human being because I was complaining about a decision I did and made myself. So I urge all of you to not have that food remorse or whatever remorse that is, like, oh, I didn't exercise today remorse, or, oh, I didn't drink a gallon of water. I drank, half a gallon of water, whatever it may be. So look for your small wins, set your checklist up, set that big goal, keep charging forward. And I want to thank all of you again. So make sure as we wind down this episode right now, head over to Apple Podcasts. Please head over to wherever you're listening or watching, wherever you're able to give us a nice positive review. I love the feedback, even if it's something you want. And I accept all feedback because that's all it is to me, is feedback. I'm always looking to be better for myself, first and foremost, my family, and all of you that are listening and watching. Frankly, the world needs to be a better, healthier, happier place. And I'm trying to I am doing my part to be better for all of you. So thank you so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. Have a great day, evening, or night from wherever you're watching and or listening. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Human Powered Life podcast. Make sure to head over to lifestylelocker.com to check out all the details on the show and to watch part 2 of this episode, which is only in video format. We also have this audio portion in video format if you want. Once again, I'm your host, Dr. Josh Hant, for the Human Powered Life podcast, and I'm looking forward to staying connected with you as a Human Powered Life hero. Remember to join the tribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.